Hey everybody, this is Dr. Ben Pearl with FitFoot U. So today I have one of my colleagues, Craig Quaglia. We met the old-fashioned way on the internet, the way people meet now, and we have shared interests in keeping athletes and just everyday people that want to be more active doing what they're doing and injury-free. And Craig Quaglia is in the Chicago suburb area, or just outside of Chicago. I really love the Midwest. I went to IU, so
I saw that.
I'm always loving when I get to just interact with Midwesterners, because here on the East Coast it's like I'm going to winnow in before you do, and then out Midwest people are a little more genteel and will give you directions and just more collaborative. So we associated, you were asking me some things about Shockwave. It was kind of a Texas two-step. We did first, I put you onto a company that I'm working with that does radio shockwave. I'm a consultant with them. I'm actually very intricately involved with the whole business plan. And then we got onto what I've dubbed the Pearl PEMF, my electromagnetic device. So we've got all kinds of things that people can look this stuff up, but I want to get your user experience on what the processes have been like and how it's changed your practice. And let's start backwards. Let's start with the thing that you can do that is a little less attended, the PEMF unit, or electromagnetic therapy.
First, I want to thank you because taking the time to educate me on these things helped me purchase the equipment that literally has changed my practice. There are times, especially post-COVID, where I thought, I'm done with this whole thing. I'm actually having a blast right now. And the reason is especially my borderline patients, and you know how this happens. Sometimes you can only take them so far. This brings it over the top, especially when we can combine the two therapies. As far as Shockwave goes, I was one of the very first people in the country, if not the first person, just because I was in the right place with Richard Wolf, and the president of Richard Wolf at that time in the Midwest was my patient, and in his German accent, Greg, I have shockwave machine for a trigger point. I'm like, who the hell are you and what are you talking about? And so I was in the early stages with the Focus one. Unfortunately, at that time, there wasn't a lot of information, other than trigger point. Now we got it pouring out, as you well know. So when I reached out to find something that was somewhat more affordable, then that was the problem, because these are very sophisticated touching machines, especially the Focus ones. I was fortunate that you responded, and from there, things started to roll. The thing with Shockwave is I have a bunch of athletes here like you who are squash players, and these guys are insane as far as that goes. And one by
those
one,
angles are so tight.
Yeah.
And I find the same thing. I can't play indoor soccer anymore because the angles are too tight for my body.
Yeah. And so I started working with one, and then all of a sudden I started getting the student athletes that are, and the whole family kind of a thing. But what was shocking to me was the results. They were coming in faster. I was able to do more, and I am mostly non-insurance except for car accidents. So I'm working always a way to make things cost effective for people and still get better results. I'm still very much a hands-on guy. I still, I combine all the things. Then
if we were to bookmark, and I want to return back to that, but if we were to bookmark this, Craig, and then give me kind of the user experience with PEMF, for what I call the Pearl PEMF, because it's really about the protocols, not just the box.
Yeah.
What has been both the synergy with the radial shockwave unit that you have and the individual? I'd be interested in both those scenarios and how you've integrated it and how it's, helped bump up your practice.
All right. So a great example is I have a woman who was going to have surgery on her knees. She's in her late 60s, 70s, and she really didn't want to, but she was literally waddling when she walked. She's been a long time client, so we went back and forth. She came in. Now the nice thing is, on one knee in one treatment, I can use the Shockwave, And by the way, using shockwave saved me from 2 surgeries on my knees from a car accident, helping to heal and tighten up ligaments and the meniscus. Now, in her case, I would put the PEMF on one leg and then do the shockwave, and we would rotate during treatments, every other treatment. So as of this time, she has canceled her surgeries. Now, maybe someday she'll have to get them, maybe not. But right now, she's
How many treatments in that fashion did you bank?
we're probably on 8 right now. We're at number 8. Yeah,
Okay.
8 or 9. Yeah, but remember, we're rotating legs at this point. And I got her in with
what are her observations right after both? You know, when this one feels more like this with the radial, this one feels more like this with the PEMF.
That's a good question. After the PEMF, there's very little kickback pain or anything. Obviously, with the shockwave, we want a little irritation of the tissue because that's the healing process. And another thing that she said to me is it took all the dimples out of her legs, that her skin was smoother, you know, so women
Nice.
notice
No, they're well, especially because you have that infrared overlay, which we didn't really talk about. So it's not only the electromagnetic, the ring of life, but then in the center, I call it the light brights. You've got that, and that helps with collagen rejuvenation. Joy has noticed, and Joy is my significant other, that and she also works in my office. She has noticed that she has one of those hockey mask type things, the same concept. And her skin has gotten more plump, and you know, the fine wrinkles, because it's a collagen builder.
Right.
But that is that, you know, the more superficial skin look, and it's still doing something deep. Don't get me wrong, but I believe it's in my estimation, it's the electromagnetic that's the real quote unquote charge.
Well, we'll just go back to me for a moment. I have neuropathy. So in a combination with the infrared and the shockwave, I've been able to reverse it, start moving it back, and not having the pain and not having the burning pain. You know, of course, I got to do with the
did that mainly hit you at night, Craig? The burning pain?
Yeah, that's just, and I know why, is because during the day you're busy and your body's not, you know, you can overcome or override whatever's going on. At night, everything shows up. You know, I've had some weird diseases we could talk about, hereditary, at another day. But the bottom line is, you're right. These things, you know, work nicely. It's harder to quantify the infrared, right, or the
sure, because you're doing it in conjunction,
especially when we're doing it in conjunction. At this point, I know it works in and of itself.